Today, I've got the 5 hottest sports cards in the hobby. One of the cards you'll never guess. And one of the cards was a really obvious way to make some money.
My name is Geoff Wilson. By day, I invest in tech companies. And at night, I invest in sports cards. Join me on my journey to profit from the hobby we all love.
Sports card investors, and welcome to another Top 5 Tuesday. I hope you had an absolutely great weekend. Hope you enjoyed your President's Day. I had an awesome weekend. I got the honor of marrying my little sister, Amber. You know her from this show. If you ever watch our Thursday episodes called The Forecast, you see Amber on those shows. And her husband, Shawn, asked me to be their officiant and to marry them. And I had the honor of doing so. It was an awesome experience. And what made it particularly cool for me, being the sports card geek, is as a gift to me for being the officiant, Amber and Shawn made a custom one-of-one officiant card. There it is on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. Check this thing out. It was incredible. It was the work of Crazy Custom Cards on Instagram. Crazy Custom Cards does amazing one-of-one, personalized sports cards. You can see a lot of what they do on their Instagram. And Amber and Shawn had reached out to them, and they made this card for Amber to give to me for doing the wedding. And it was a thrill to get that card. It really was. And thanks to Crazy Custom Cards for doing such a great job of putting that together. Speaking of Instagram, we are running an incredible contest right now. We have teamed up with some other major sports card Instagram channels, and we're running a contest. We're giving away your choice of a whole bunch of really high-end rookie cards. A Luka rookie, a Mahomes rookie. You've got to enter this contest. Go to Sports Card Investor on Instagram, follow our Instagram account, and then check out our post, which talks about the contest and tells you how to enter. Go do that. Maybe you will walk away with one of these incredible rookie cards that we're going to be giving away. We've also got an incredible top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Some unexpected cards, well, at least one unexpected card to talk about today, and a card that hopefully you were on because it was a really good money-making opportunity over the last couple of months. Let's see if you were. Let's get started with today's top 5 cards. Coming in at our number 5 spot today, let's see if you can guess who this is. A little bit unexpected. A media personality who has a sports card and has ties to a popular sport. So here we go. This person was a Taekwondo champion as a teenager, a comedian for the last 30 years, host of a popular primetime TV show on NBC for many years, where people had to eat bugs and do things like that, a UFC commentator for many years, and now the host of one of the most popular podcasts that is out there today. Did you guess? Did you guess Joe Rogan? If you guessed Joe Rogan, give yourself a pat on the back. And yes, Joe Rogan does have sports cards. You can see there on your screen his 2009 Topps UFC card. He was part of the 2009 Top set. Perhaps some people just recently figured this out. People are out buying up iconic cards of iconic stars. And I guess Joe Rogan now fits in that boat. Who knew that a commentator's sports card would be hot? But it's hot. Look at this graph, ladies and gentlemen. You can see this is a hot card in raw condition. In raw condition, this Joe Rogan 2009 Topps card is now going for close to $400. In fact, there was a sale over $500 of this card in raw condition. You could have bought this card for about $100 at the beginning of February. Even then, I would have thought that was a lot for this card. But no. It's now a $500 card as people are jumping on Joe Rogan cards. All right, let's get to some actual sports figures for the number 4 person on this list. As you know, iconic cards have been hot. People are chasing iconic cards. You're going to hear some of them today on this list for sure. And why not one of the best wide receivers in the history of football, and now a really good TV personality on ESPN. I am talking, of course, about Randy Moss. You got mossed, ladies and gentlemen. Randy Moss is an incredible personality and a great player. Almost over 15,000 receiving yards, 4th all-time, 156 touchdowns, 2nd all-time. And of course, who can forget that season in 2007 when he went to the New England Patriots and paired with Tom Brady for 23 receiving touchdowns, a single season record. I remember that well because I passed on him in the fantasy football draft that year. I can vividly remember passing on him in that year's fantasy football draft, and boy, was that a mistake. And boy, was it a mistake if you have not been considering Randy Moss cards, because let's take a look at his 1998 Topps Chrome card here shown in PSA 10. And just like all iconic cards, this one has been jumping up recently, and the jump of this one has been more recent because this was a card that, if you go back just a few weeks ago, was a sub $500 card. If you go back to late January, but then all of a sudden right now, this card is $1,300 as of the most recent sale. So you can see this card has jumped, even in the last 30 days, this card has jumped 162.6%. That is pretty impressive, even by Randy Moss's standards. All right, let's go with another athlete who's incredible. And I'd argue that this athlete is even more incredible. This athlete is perhaps one of the greatest athletes that we have ever seen, because he did it at such a high level in 2 sports. I'm talking about Bo Jackson. Not to mention, he also ran track and field in college and did that well as well. 1985 Heisman Trophy winner, number 1 pick by the Raiders in the 1986 NFL Draft. But then he also debuted with the Kansas City Royals in 1986. This is so difficult to do. Think about this. He was an all-star in Major League Baseball and a Pro Bowler in the NFL. Absolutely incredible. Of course, his NFL career was cut short when he dislocated his hip in a playoff game. He was able to continue playing baseball for a few years after that. But when it was all said and done, an absolutely incredible career across football and baseball. And he has some of the more incredible cards. I wanted to bring a couple up here on the screen. First of all, to show you a football card of his 1988 Topps Base football card. That's the line on the top of the graph, because that card is you can see it here. That card is a popular, iconic football card, even though a lot of people think about his 1987 Topps baseball card when they think of Bo Jackson. Let's not forget about his super rookie card from 1988 Topps. But of course, his most iconic card ever, the 1990 Score base card, that card right there. This card means a lot to me because this was one of the cards that when I was a child collecting sports cards, this card was a card that I was absolutely going wild chasing. Like, the 2 cards that I remember most from my childhood are this Bo Jackson, Bo, with this card right here with the bat behind him and the football pads, and then the iconic Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck rookie card. Those are the 2 cards that I remember most from my childhood just chasing after. I actually still have this Bo card that I finally got when I was a kid. Excited about that one. Both of these cards have been going crazy. If we switch to look at the percentage change, that helps balance them out a little bit more when you just look at the change in price from a percentage standpoint. And you can see they've both been following a really similar pattern. Over the last 30 days, both of these cards are up over 200%. In fact, his Bo card from 1990 Score is up 215%. And his football card from 88 Topps is up 200% over the last 30 days. Bo clearly knows card price increases. That he definitely does. as does the next guy on our list. Sticking with iconic players, another big figure of this era, a basketball player, a little excitable at times. That might be a nice way of putting it, but certainly a big figure, Shawn Kemp. Shawn Kemp was all the rage. Sometimes a little too much rage in this guy, but he was quite the dynamic player on the basketball court. His rookie card, he was drafted 17th overall in 1989. His true rookie card, though, didn't come out until 1990. Of course, everybody remembers that period that he and Gary Payton played together with the Sonics and how fun that tandem was to watch, how fun he was to play in NBA Jam. I remember that. He was pretty dominant in NBA Jam back in the day, and those are some of my fonder memories of Shawn Kemp. But collectors of Shawn Kemp cards have a lot of fond memories right now, because check out this rise in his 1990 Fleer base card in PSA 10. Look at this thing just shoot up. And again, this is people chasing those iconic cards when Kobe's cards go crazy and MJ's cards go crazy, and then you see secondary players start to go crazy as well and follow the same pattern. And Shawn Kemp is one of these guys who was a big figure from the 1990s. He really was. And so of course his cards are going to go nuts. And you can see that this card in PSA 10 condition was under $100 for the second half of January. Pretty reliably, you could find that card for under $100. Not anymore. This card shot all the way up to over $300. Some sales of this card as high as $360 over the course of the last week. An incredible rise for Shawn Kemp's card prices. But not as incredible as the number one guy on this list. And I would suggest to you that this one was obvious. Hopefully a lot of you out there saw this opportunity some time ago. Of course, his cards aren't super common and they're expensive, so you might not have been able to get in on the opportunity. But when you think of the absolutely iconic basketball players of the 1990s, Shawn Kemp was one of them, but you think of the bigger name people, right? Obviously you got Jordan playing, winning tons of championships through the 90s. You got Kobe, 96. But outside of in Kobe's era, outside of Kobe, and then of course LeBron, who came on and was in 2003 and younger through those years, then who was the next most iconic player? Maybe you say Tim Duncan, maybe Shaq. There's some guys you can go with, but I think a lot of you out there are probably answering Allen Iverson right now. Allen Iverson was absolutely an iconic player in the late 1990s and in the 2000s. And to me, it just makes sense that as people are buying Kobe's cards and those prices are going crazy, that people are going to start to look towards Allen Iverson as well. And his cards would eventually start to go crazy as well. And that has been clearly what's happened. And it's really happened more recently. I mean, Allen Iverson's cards did not take off until just recently, the way that some of those other players' cards have taken off. But now they have really, really taken off. And of course, Iverson was part of that 1996 Topps rookie class, same year as Kobe. So his cards are in that 96 Topps Chrome, and those 96 sets. And look at what Iverson's rookie card has done from Topps Chrome here in the last few days. This is a card that in late January, in PSA 10 condition, is around $2,000, a little bit over $2,000 in late January. Again, this is his 96 Topps Chrome card in PSA 10. Population 672, so a fairly low population card. That card, the most recent sales of this card are now almost $10,000. There have been a few different sales of this card now over $8,000, approaching $10,000. This was a card that was, again, $2,000 a few weeks ago. And to me, this one was fairly predictable. When I saw how crazy Kobe's prices were going, I just naturally made the association with Iverson, because I said, man, they're both part of that 96 class. And although Iverson didn't have as much success as Kobe, obviously, certainly not the rings and not as much acclaim, he was absolutely one of the most iconic stars of that era. And so to me, it just made sense that as investors bought up Kobe cards, that Iverson's cards would be soon behind. And here we are. What an absolutely incredible rise in Allen Iverson's card prices, putting him squarely as the #1 card in this week's top 5. If you enjoy tracking trending cards and seeing price movements like this every single day, then you need to download the free Sports Card Investor app in the App Store. If you haven't already, search Sports Card Investor in the App Store on your phone right now. And of course, if you really want the story behind the numbers and you want to see the data and the analytics to get you ahead in the sports card hobby and to help you profit from the hobby you love and find investment opportunities like these before they happen, then you need Market Movers. And you can get Market Movers instant access right now by going to sportscardinvestor.com and clicking on Market Movers in the main menu bar. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please give us a subscribe and hit that little bell icon if you haven't already. We want to get to 100,000 subscribers this year, so every single one of you who subscribes helps us and helps us create more shows such as this one. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you back in a couple of days with our next show. Take care.